In this example, we want to factor the trinomial x squared plus 3x minus 18. We know the general question will become, what multiplies to make c and adds to make b? Remembering that our general trinomial structure is x squared plus bx plus c, that means we need to find a pair of numbers whose product is negative 18 and whose sum is 3. Before we start looking for these particular numbers, we want to analyze the signs of the negative 18 and the 3. Because the two numbers we're looking for have a product that is negative 18, the only way we could multiply two numbers together and get a negative result is if one number is negative and one number is positive. So based on the product, we know one must be a positive, one must be a negative. Separately, knowing that one number is positive and one number is negative, the only way you could add two numbers together, one being positive and one being negative, and get a positive 3 as the result, is if the larger number is positive. Now, using that information, that we're looking for numbers who multiply to make negative 18, and one of them will be positive, one will be negative, and the larger one has to be positive, we can start to construct a table of factor pairs for the number negative 18. So the first column of this table will have the factor pairs of negative 18. The second column will then have the sum of those factor pairs. So we begin by looking what multiplies to make negative 18, keeping in mind that the larger number must be the positive. So negative 1 times 18, negative 2 times 9, negative 3 times 6. Of those possibilities, negative 1 plus 18 is 17, negative 2 plus 9 is 7, and negative 3 plus 6 is 3. So that tells us the pair of numbers that multiply to make negative 18 and add to make 3 as the last pair, negative 3 and 6. So which factor pair has the needed sum? Negative 3 and 6. Once you've practiced this enough, a lot of these questions become a thought process, and you simply jump from the original trinomial to the factored version, which is what we need to do here in the final answer. So as a final step, we need to factor the trinomial x squared plus 3x minus 18. Again, we know if this is going to factor, it's going to factor as a product of two binomials. To get the x squared in the front of the trinomial, we know that each binomial had to start with a single x. It's the only way we can multiply two things together to get x squared. Now we simply plug in the factor pairs we had determined based on our previous work. We'll plug in a negative 3 and a positive 6. So if we've done our work correctly, x squared plus 3x minus 18 should factor as x minus 3 and x plus 6. As always, and especially in the beginning, we should check our work. Definitely make sure you clearly separate your factoring from your checking. So to check, we're going to reverse the process. We're going to take what we think the factored version is and FOIL this out. If I FOIL this, the first terms, x times x, gives me x squared. The outside terms, x times a 6, is a positive 6x. The inside terms, minus 3 times x, is a negative 3x. And the last terms, negative 3 times 6, is negative 18. If I go ahead and finish this by combining my like terms, x squared plus 6x minus 3x minus 18 becomes x squared plus 3x minus 18, which is the trinomial that we were originally trying to factor, so it checks.